Okay, getting the body off today. And if you think about it, now is the time to do it because this car is about 3/4 torn apart and it's going to be about a 5 or 6 step process. We got brake lines, some transmission linkage, steering column, and fuel lines. A couple other things, the air shock lines, whatever, and the body will come right off. So this should be a fairly easy process. But one thing I did, went to Home Depot and got a workbench instead of using my drywall workbench. And we're gonna put the HVAC on hold. It's over there, organized best I can. And then this table is gonna be just for getting the body off and the body back on. Having ADD, this really helps simplify things, and I've always tried to keep things simple for that reason, but it's definitely helpful. So now we got a somewhat of a proper workbench instead of 4 pieces of drywall bowing all over the place. And gonna get the body off the frame here. Stick around. All right, we are ready to get the body off the frame. Got steering column out, brake lines done, got the emergency brake cable off, got the main wiring harness bulkhead that goes into the body. We're gonna leave the wiring harness with the engine instead of taking all that off, starter and all that. So that's a little bit easier way to do it, I think. And all the body bolts out that weren't broke, fuel lines, exhaust. So at this point, we're ready to get this body off. So what the plan is take these 4 jack stands and place them on the body and get them pretty high. That way we can let the lift down and the body will raise up, and then we can pull the lift out, go up and go between the frame and the body, and then just lift the body off the car. So that's my plan. We'll see what happens. And we're just gonna keep on getting to it. All right, we have separation. We actually went pretty smooth. We only douched 1 brake line that we actually replaced last year, but it is what it is. No harm, no foul. If that's the worst that can happen or happened, we didn't drop the body off the lift or anything, so that's good. And we got this new combination valve we got to put in because the brake light was sticking on. So instead of trying to rebuild it, we're gonna go ahead and change that out. And you can see how much easier it is to work on here than when the body's on. So we're gonna change that out. And then the whole reason for taking the body off was these bolts here. You can see how it broke. And now that the body's off, there's still some left. So I'm hoping I can torch this, get it hot enough to where this will unscrew with a pair of vice grips. And whichever ones, there's a few more in the back too, but whichever ones don't come out, I'm gonna have to cut it out and put these are up in there, but this will all have to be cut out and then re-welded back in once we get the new body nuts in. Whichever ones we can't get out. That one's questionable right there. There's not a whole lot to grip to, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So once we do that, we're gonna, as you can see, the frame's still a little dirty where I couldn't get a 3,000 PSI pressure washer right to it. But we're gonna do a courtesy coat on the frame, a little better than a courtesy coat, but paint the whole frame black, prep this and paint the hole underneath of the car. That way, this thing's gonna be a super clean driver for sure. Not perfect, but it'll be right. So we're just gonna keep on getting it here, and next step is to work on these bolts, see where we're at. All right, body bolt number 1 we got out. This thing is pretty happy. If you look in there, still have the threads left. But one quick tip on this, taking a bolt out, any bolt like this, you see the bolt still got a little threads left, but take this bolt and the nut that's up in there, what I did was I didn't come up from the bottom with the torch and try to heat the bolt itself right here. I was able to go in here and heat up the nut and then basically get this red hot so it's malleable, because there's all rusty threads. And that enabled me to unscrew the bolt with the vice grips. Without having this red hot, it would have just broke right off. So I went in from the top side and heated this red hot in the bolt. So the threads are malleable, and I was able to just unscrew it right out. And that basically saved me probably an hour and a half of work. And we don't have to cut the body apart. So that was bolt number 1. And we got 4 more to go. We'll see how this goes. All right, bolt number 2, we got it out. I was praying. I got that thing super hot without melting anything. And we got plenty of threads left. The body nut's in good shape. And there wasn't much left of that. So I got it a little hotter than the last one. But just heated the nut, got the bolt red hot at the top, and I was able to just cinch it out. Nice and easy. Saved myself another hour and a half of work. 2 bolts out, 3 to go. All right, on to the other 3 bolts. We got 1 bolt here, which we got plenty of bolt there to grip to, but I can't get to the top side of it. So what I'm gonna have to do is try to get in here and get this red hot. The only issue, that's fine, as long as I don't get this red hot right here where this bolt snaps off. But the rusty threads up top, they're just gonna have to make their way through. So we'll see how this goes. We got 1 here, 1 there, which I think this was coming out and then it finally broke off. So that one I have a feeling will come right out. And then we got 1 right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this fuel tank so I don't blow myself up. Might as well. If I was in a hurry, I'd go ahead and try to do this with the fuel tank in, take my chances, but we'll just take it out and go from there. All right, got the fuel tank out. 3rd bolt is out. Now what I did here, since I couldn't get the torch to the top side of the bolt or the nut here, I went in here and heated this up red hot and stayed as far away from the bolt as I could. Get this as malleable as possible and hot so it expanded without heating that bolt red hot and snapping it off. And that thing came right out. I'm happy as shit at the moment. We got 2 more bolts to go, and I have a feeling they're gonna come out. But we're looking good. 2 more to go. See what happens here. Okay, after got the body off and I got all 5 studs out for the body mounts. Just use my patience and a little bit of proper heating technique. Always go. I was able to I didn't have a chance to go into the top side of this. So I just heated up this nut. This nut here basically is up in there, and just heated that nut red hot and was able to unscrew all the studs. I got them all out. I'm so happy with this, it's not even funny, because I saved myself about 6 hours of work. If I would have had to do all 5, hell, it could have been all day. That was a little rough, but no worries. The threads are still there. Paint that all up, make it look nice, keep it from rusting. Everything's happy, but I didn't have to cut into the original body or nothing. So that worked out. But got the gas tank out. But one thing I would like to say, anybody who gets online, you get your dopamine rush or whatever, you go to buy a hot rod, make sure you look at it hard, because this is actually a really nice car, and look what had to be done to make it a right car. and can't do it without getting it right. So if you ever go to buy a hot rod, make sure you get underneath it, look at it close, know what you're getting into. So many cars out there people buy and think they're going to put a big motor in it, and it's not that easy. It literally is not that easy. And I'm just trying to save people some headache and some money, but I'm not worried. I was not planning on pulling the body off this car, but that's what it came to. Well, we're getting it done, and this thing's gonna be a really nice driver now, because ain't not much more we can pull off this car. We're not looking for show here, just looking for a nice, serious driver, and being able to take the body off the frame. It's gonna be a really nice driver. So stick around. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. And next step, prep the frame, prep the underbody, paint everything, and put it back on.